So we can probably get started with the meeting. So today we're just going to be doing a collaborative workshop with ACM Design and ACM Product Management. And we can start by introducing both of our clubs. So just a brief introduction about the PM Club. We're a special interest group under ACM, and our mission is to build overall PM skills necessary for success and increasing awareness about product management in general. We meet every week at 7 p.m. at this time, EST, and this is our website for your reference. This has a schedule for our entire semester. So you can go over here and you can look at our schedule, and if you have any changes, you can always DM us at Slack. And this is our email if you want to get in touch with us as well.
Hey guys, so we're the UMass Design Club. We're the graphic design club at UMass. So we're a special interest group of the ACM, along with the product management club. So what we do in our club is we learn, share, and talk about design together at our meetings. And we're trying to develop a community of graphic designers at UMass. So we meet every Wednesday at 6 p.m. We each week our meeting is kind of different. We have design hours where we talk about design. We have game nights where we just have fun together, and we also have workshops like these. So we're gonna have another workshop at the end of April this semester. So yeah, definitely if you want to come check us out, just email umassux@gmail.com or come join our Discord. I can send you guys a link. Just reach out to whoever is in your breakout room during the workshop, and we can give that to you. So now we're gonna be talking about the agenda for today.
Yeah, so just a brief introduction about the agenda is we're going to be talking about UI UX. Why is it important? Going over a few concepts about what UI UX and design is at a high level. Then we're going to be having a Figma tutorial by one of our team leaders, Tenzin, and she's going to be going over registered as a student. Make sure to do that. She'll be going over different components on how you can use it if you're using it for the first time or if you've already been using it. And then we're going to be splitting up into breakout rooms, and we're going to be designing a Spotify redesign of 2 to 5 screens so that you can collaboratively work with 3 to 5 people to actually come up with a tangible product. And then at the very end, we're going to meet back in the main room to design, to share off all of our designs together. And with that, I can pass it back to Dhruv.
Hey guys, so I'm gonna give you guys an introduction to UI UX. So if you guys don't know already, what UI UX stands for, it's user interface and user experience design. The basic difference between UI and UX is UI defines the looks of an interface, while user experience defines the interactions that users have with a particular product. User experience consists of user research through interviews and surveys to kind of gather information about what users are looking for in their product. And after research, the process is about wireframing and prototyping the interface based on what we learned from the user research aspect. This part was, originally done via pen or paper, but now we have a lot of tools to make this process a lot quicker and faster. And next is user testing. The developed wireframe is then tested with users, and we look at how they interact with it. One cool way that UX researchers do this is using A/B testing. It's where you deploy 2 different versions of the same interface to users, where each version has a different style of a button, for example, and you can see how many users end up clicking on the button in each variation, and based on that you can figure out the next iteration of your UI. So the UI, I mean, the UX development process continues like in a cycle, and it's like a continual development of and improvement of the experience. UI design is the visual implementation of wireframes created in the user experience research process, and shapes, typography, and colors. We actually implement the visual experience of the interface for a particular product. So for UI UX design, there are like a lot of popular tools available today, a lot more than there were like 6 years ago. Back then, you'd have to use the standard graphic design illustration type tools like Adobe Illustrator or even like Photoshop to develop your UIs. But now you have tools just specifically for UI UX and prototyping. So some of the popular ones today are Adobe XD, Figma, Sketch, and InVision. Today we're going to be working with Figma. We're going to have a tutorial on Figma and then working on Figma designs together. So most of these tools have very similar interfaces and controls. Once you learn one of these, like learning another one should be pretty easy. So today we'll be working on redesigning the Spotify interface together. We'll be doing the mobile app, and we'll have a little bit under 30 minutes to do this. And we'll be here to help you guys. So we'll be splitting up into breakout rooms, and there should be at least one of us in each of your breakout rooms to help you, like help guide you through the design. So yeah, here are some inspirations on what you can do with Figma, and in terms of making like a mobile music player app like Spotify. So on the left, you see like dual gradient interface that's very neon-like. And on the other side, we have a monotone, very minimal interface. And then we have like some really cool stuff that I found on Dribble today. Yeah, I mean, obviously we're not looking for like some cool 3D vector art or something, things like that in your design, but mainly how you work with the layouts together. That's something we're gonna be helping you with. So now I'm gonna hand things over to Tenzin, where we'll be doing a tutorial of Figma. Tenzin, I think you can share your screen now.
Oh yeah, I got it. So my name is Tenzin, and I'm part of the design club, and I'll just be going over how to use Figma. So yeah, and I'll like in the chat I'll add in the link for. I'll like quickly add in the link for the presentation and the assets that you can use. So Figma is a collaborative interface design tool that you can use both on PC and Mac. And it is really useful because you could collaborate in real time on the same file with other people, and it is also free for use. And I'll just do the presentation through here so I can show you how to use the tools at the same time. So when you first start, you want to create a new file, you'll either use the menu to like go to the file and click a new file, and you can also like import like sketch files that you already have, or you could just press Command plus N to make a new file. So I guess later on or right now you could just click on the Figma link I shared to, I guess, duplicate the file if you want to like try to work along with the tutorial. So like you could do it in your breakout rooms. And so in Figma, this would be considered a frame. So create a new frame. You can either press A or F. So when you press press F, like, or you can go to the menu over here to the frame tool, and you can either like click and like drag to make your own like size frame, or on the right there is like, when you click frame on the right, it will show up like frames that are already ready made to use if you want to make like, I guess, a project to redesign like an app for the iPhone. So this is what I use to make these boards. So I guess we'll just follow like how to make something similar to to this board here first. And like just like the Figma interface, like the menu is on the top left here, and there are different options that you can use. And also these are the tools that you'll be using for Figma. And this is the frame tool that I talked about before, and the shapes to like choose like different shapes that you want to make, and the pen tool like to draw your own like vector shapes, and the text tool to create like any text you want, and the hand tool like to, I guess, go around the canvas. You can also press the space bar to like just go around the canvas too, like instead of pressing the hand tool. And yeah, and on the left area over here are, this is the layers for our project right now. And like, I guess if you click on the board here, you'll see the different layers for the board. And you can just like you can like drag, oh, not here, but like you can like drag and drop like the layers if you want to move them. And our workspace is the canvas, and I like added in shortcuts into the chat for like different shortcuts to use when you do this. So yeah, and like I guess like one shortcut would be like pressing like shift 1 to see like your entire project, to see like the work you've created already. And there are like more shortcuts in the link that I've added if you want to check those out to like zoom in and out. Yeah. And lastly, on the right is where the inspector is, and you can either design, prototype, or inspect your project. Yeah. So for to create like, I guess, to recreate like a design in Spotify, we could use yeah, so for the layers, if you want, like if you have like, I guess, like this image and like the title of the song over here, to group them, you could select them and press Command G. So it's easier to move both of them around the canvas instead of trying to move it together, like move it separately. And yeah. And also on Figma, there is pages. So right now we're on the Designing with Figma page where like all the slide information is. But on the left, if you go on assets, like you can see the different icons and components and the album arts there are. And I also put like the different boards. And then this is where the slides is. So like pages, like you can use it to group your work together like however you want, or like to section your work and your components if I've like placed them in the assets page, but you could also access them through the assets like on the upper left side. And like when you click through it, you will see the images of like the components that you can use. And it's very easy to like just drag and drop it if needed. Yeah. So right now, I guess like we can try to recreate this. So first, to use like a tool, to use the tools, you can either choose from the menu or like press R, L, or O to make the specific shapes you want. And yeah, like, so since this is like 300 by 300, I'll like just create the shape, but you could fix the properties on the right in the inspector. So this would be the shape for our project. And yeah, so to create a text, you can press Command T. Oh, wait, no, I pressed the wrong letter, my bad. You can press, or you could just go to the menu and press text and start typing. So I guess like if we use the same song, I'll just put that for now. And the font I used for this is Poppins, and you could choose like different different properties, or like change the font color, the size, and like the spacing. So yeah, so for you can also save the styles for colors. So for the background of like the port 2 I've created, I used this color. So if I want, I could click over here and create style to add it as a new color, and I'll just name it background color because that's what I'm using it as. And this is helpful because in the future, like if you decide to change the background color, you don't like, it's not, the title is not just the color that you have chosen now. And you can do the same for text in the future. Like, so to change the background of this, I'll just go to fill and go to the style section and press this to make, yeah, so that's how like saving color styles work. And this would be the same thing to do. You can do the same, like essentially the same thing to make the text the same style if you want them to like, yeah, if you want like your other projects to have the same styles. And for components, there are like the UI elements that can be reused for your projects, which is very helpful. So in the assets, as I said before, like to make you can just copy it, like you can just drag it and drop it. And the thing about like assets is like if you change the, oh wait, no, if you change the master asset, like if you go here, if I change the color to, I guess like black, oh wait, yeah, usually like it will change the, okay, so if I just like copy this and, so I'll just create this as a new component, and on the top there's an option to, you can create component, or like on the top there will be a symbol, but since I already created one, it's not there. But if I copy this one into here, like if I change the color over here, like it will change. This is the master component, so the instances will change. And if you resize it, it will also resize for all of the frames, which is very helpful. Yeah. And in Figma, you can do auto layout, and auto layout is helpful in creating frames that adjust as you change content. And to do this, you will just have to use Shift and A to create a new auto layout frame, and using this will automatically resize your content. So this is helpful in like creating auto layouts for text. Yeah, and lastly, for prototyping, I had already made this board before to show you how to prototype. So like a very basic prototype I did was on the right side of the inspector, you can click prototype and you pick the device frame that you want to prototype for. So I just did for board 2. If I click the plus over here, I can drag it to the frame I wanted to connect to, and if you play it, it will just like go back. And you can do this for like any different like prototyping you want, but that's just like a basic prototyping example that you can use. And yeah, so if I use like if I want to prototype something on board 1, like I guess so usually when you click like on Spotify, when you click this, it will show the album, but for like this tutorial, if I just drag it to this frame to like, I guess like change to board 2, it would be like I just dragged the circle to board 2 to connect it, and if you play it, like it will just go to the song. So yeah, and also there are like different like vertical scrolling and horizontal scrolling that you can do in Figma. So with with this, like I can't really scroll like down because I didn't make it enough, but like horizontal scrolling is like that. And this is like, so, and you can also create fixed elements. So if you don't want something to move during like when you're prototyping, like I guess you'll just click on the element that you don't want to move, and then on the right, it should have a so you just click fixed position when scrolling, so it doesn't move like when you scroll your elements. And and to share your work, you just have to click the blue share button on the right side, and when you share it, you can click can view or can edit. So if you want, you could, if you want to collab on the project with someone else, make sure like you change this option. Or you can also just copy a link to send it to people, and then like you can either like duplicate those links so you can work on that project if you want. So and it's just helpful using Figma in real time when you share your work. So so just like try to use the components and the assets that I've given here, and like I guess like if you want, like if you don't want to make the same thing like this, I've added different album cover art, and then you can just practice using the different tools and like text to create like this layout. And then like if you want, try to prototype like with this, and you could just change the pictures too. Oh yeah, and then one interesting thing is like a shape. Like once you have made a shape, when you click on it on the fill section, like when you click on the image, you could either make it a solid color, or when click on image and then to choose an image, you can, I guess, yeah, and then that's how like, or you could just paste an image to the shape, but that's like how, yeah, that's pretty much it. Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, if you guys have any questions, we'll be like in the breakout rooms with you guys. So feel free to ask us then. And if we don't know enough, we can like ask Tenzin for you. So now we'll actually be getting into the breakout rooms. Let me just share my screen here.
Yeah, go ahead, Drew.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Yeah, so we're just going to be dividing everyone in groups of 3. I've created 3 breakout rooms depending on the number of people. And the idea is that everyone will work collaboratively to design 2 to 5 screens of a basic UI mockup of Spotify. And just remember to use all the tools and components that Tenzin just talked about, and have fun. So I'll just take 1 minute to open all the breakout rooms, and then you can just go ahead. Yeah, so I've opened all the breakout rooms. So everyone just have fun.
Not. Yeah, so we were just like trying, since like in our group there were people who hadn't used Figma before, we were just trying to recreate this by using like the different album covers. So yeah, this is like what we're doing right now.
Nice. That looks great. The blinding lights one.
Oh, thanks.
Who all worked on that?
Wait, what?
Like, did everyone work on all of those screens?
Each, like we each work on like one screen each.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But yeah, like Kyle, like he's like doing like, I guess like a redesign of it, so it looks pretty nice too.
Kyle, do you want to tell us about the features that you added?
Well, 30 minutes is hardly enough time to make anything look different, let alone add features. But I don't know. I think Spotify looks really ugly. I don't get the whole like color splash thing in the background.
I completely agree with that.
Like it's just, it's sandpaper for your eyes. So I was just trying to make something that's, I don't know. I was just doing what felt right. There's too much open space. So probably, I don't know what the solution for that is, but I don't know. I like bigger buttons and things that look more interesting. I don't know.
Anyone else want to talk about their design?
I think Jarius was going to share ours. Are you able? Is he still here? Yep.
Oh yeah, I'm still here. I can definitely go over our design.
Aaliyah, I think you got to share. Yep.
Okay, so we didn't change much on the actual like Spotify interface, but we did think of an idea, especially regarding the playlist. Right next to the heart button, we tried sort of creating a prototype of the playlist button that we had where when you're going to like listen to a song and you think you want to add it to a playlist, but then you wonder how am I supposed to be able to like get everything in like a lot fewer steps than like opening up to add playlists and scrolling through all of like your old playlists to find like the one that you're looking for. We thought it would be interesting to add like a button where you could just go through your recent playlist and add it there, since we thought it was like maybe an interesting way to test out the functionality of it and make it a lot easier to like add songs to like your new playlist instead of having to go through like all your older ones.
I think that's a really great idea. That's like a problem that I suffer with Spotify. Like you have to, yeah, there's so many buttons. You have to click on that and you have to go down the menu. It's just exhausting for me. That's like a really great idea to solve that issue. What about the last group? I do you think you guys are ready?
Yes, I think.
There's not much time we have to like do our work, but yeah, we can definitely like go through what we've created. Roshan, feel free to share your screen.
Right. Okay. So we had a lot of ideas. We just didn't have enough time. Yeah, so for starters, we tried to go for like the glass morphism thing. As you can clearly see, we just made 3 buttons. Other things that we were trying for was creating playlists. Along with that, there's like a folder option. And lastly, like giving an option for people to choose their own colors for like their own backgrounds instead of like the same, the black and green option that everybody has. So yeah, did I miss out?
Your scrubber bar thing, or did you not?
Huh? I
Oh,
can't.
never mind.
Yeah, we
I want
also
to see
tried
that scrubber thing.
we also tried adding a lyrics feature to Spotify so that you can actually read your songs, because I know Apple Music has this and then other platforms have this, but not all songs on Spotify have it unless they're like premium artists or something. So just like having them have a feature to add lyrics, and then you can view it sort of through this potential UI that we came up with. Is basically like lightened up for lyrics that are already done, bold for the line that's being, sung right now, and then a bit like bolder than what's already been said for what's upcoming. And then your typical seeking features.
Kyle, were you talking about being able to like move forward and backwards in the song?
Yeah, I want to see a close up of that thing. Even close. Do you put an inner shadow or like a white shadow on that?
This?
Up?
That's from the template. The
No.
tensor setters.
No,
This
not
is like
that thing above it. Oh no, okay.
Yeah.
I like that idea though, like cutting a hole in the glass. It's nice.
Yeah, I couldn't do that. So what I did is like,
Is it just like black and transparent?
No, if you just click on it, like to get the color closest around
No,
it,
not that thing. The
like,
thing above
I
it.
just put the
Oh,
dropper to like get a color close to it, so it looks like it's transparent.
nice. So like one thing that we've learned is our group was the biggest and we did arguably the least amount of work. So too many cooks spoiled the broth. It's also true for design. We had a lot more ideas that we had to like combine and try to do. Obviously 30 minutes is not a lot of time, but like it was really interesting to see what everybody came up with. And yeah, great job everyone. If you guys want to like share any designs that like if you want to work on this later and like come up with like cooler versions of whatever you guys came up with today, feel free to share them with us. But it'd be really interesting to see that.